What's up, guys? This is the review of the 2018 Volkswagen Tiguan SEL R-Line package. This is the second generation of the Volkswagen Tiguan, and it was first produced in America in 2018, which is the one that you see here. Initially, it came available in effectively 4 different trim level models. There was the S, the Tiguan S, then there was the SE. Then the higher up version of that was the SEL, which is the one that you see here. And then the top of the line was the SEL Premium. In 2018, you could also add the R-Line package, which is what this car comes equipped with. And interestingly enough, all of these different trim levels came equipped with the same 2-liter turbo 4 engine. I think it's called a TSI, producing 184 horsepower, and it being mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. So interestingly enough, even though there were 4 different trim levels available, all of them came with the same engine, that turbo 2-liter 4, producing 184 horsepower. In North America, the Tiguan came as a long wheel version of the Tiguan. In Europe, you could actually get one with a smaller wheelbase, but all of the ones in North America are the long wheel versions of the Tiguan, and that gives it more space. In fact, this particular car is about a foot, almost a foot longer than the first generation Tiguan that preceded it. Let's talk about the looks of this car, and this is actually a gorgeous car. It's and it's particularly a good-looking car when it comes equipped with this R-Line package. Now, the R-Line sounds like some sort of a performance upgrade. In this particular car, it's not a performance upgrade. The R-Line is simply a cosmetic package, but it does make the car look a lot better. You look at the grille; it's got a broader grille, and the front has this really nice look to it. So let me kind of walk around of this car so that you can see what it looks like with the R-Line package. And this being the long wheelbase version of the Tiguan, the size of the car is just perfect. One of the complaints with the first generation of the Volkswagen Tiguan was that it was effectively a Golf on stilts, right? It was just a raised Golf. And when this second version came out, Volkswagen wanted to make sure that the car really looked like an SUV. And when you see it here in person, it does that. It's kind of boxy. It looks strong and brawny. It's just a good looking car. I mean, the car is just absolutely gorgeous. This may be one of the best looking SUVs that I've seen. I mean, it's just especially with this white paint, it's just a great looking car. And I think what makes it look so good is just the size of it is just right. The proportions are just right. When you're standing in front of it, there's substance to this car. There's a size to this car, but it's not oversized. And it being kind of higher off the ground works well with the length of this car and the wheelbase of this car. This being the SEL package that comes with the SEL trim model that comes with the R-Line package, you do get the 19-inch rims. With the SEL Premium, you would be getting the 20-inch rims. But all in all, a gorgeous car, and let's take a look inside. All right, guys, let's go ahead and step into the interior of this car. Before we get to the front, I want to show you the back of this car. It's got power lift gate, and the SEL and the SEL Premium vehicles actually came with a 3rd row back seats, and that's a differentiating factor when you compare this car against the cars that it competes against, like the Mazda CX-5. By having that longer wheelbase, Volkswagen is able to offer these cars with a 3rd row seat. I'm not gonna lift those today, and I know for a fact that I wouldn't be able to fit in there. So maybe you know, I'm sure maybe small kids could, but that is sort of a nice little feature. And of course, this being the fact that all the trim levels come with the same engine option means that then the differentiator between each of these trim models are going to be the features that the car comes equipped with. And as mentioned, this SEL version comes with a power lift gate, so you just push the button there and it closes down. In the back, there's some space here. Obviously, the owners of this car have beautiful twins, and they're my niece and nephew. This is my sister's car and my brother-in-law's car. So shout out to them for letting me review their car. But there's quite a bit of room in there, plenty of room for 2 kids with 2 car seats. You got some storage in the back there as well. And then here is the driver side of the car. I'm gonna let you guys see this. I don't know if you can see this from the shadowing, but hopefully we'll be able to. It'll show up on the video. And what the SEL trim that came with it also came with this panoramic sunroof. So you've got a massive sunroof on this car that extends from both the front passenger compartment and the rear passenger compartment, and I'll make sure you can see it here. But I think that's always a super nice feature whenever you're dealing with whenever you have an SUV, is just kind of having that panoramic sunroof. All right, let's go inside. Another feature that you get with the SEL is that you get the push button start. So you turn it on like that. Here's what it looks like. This particular car, the SEL trim level, comes with a larger screen, an 8-inch screen, and you also it's a touch screen as well. It also comes with Apple CarPlay, so that you can plug your phone into it and get all the features that you get from that phone. The steering wheel is super nice. You've got, I think it's a good looking steering wheel. It's got a number of different buttons on the steering wheel, so that you can have numerous control functions within the car without having to take your hands off the wheel. It's got the again, the R-Line has this there's a sign there showing that it's an R-Line trim, but yeah, it's a great looking wheel. And the instrument cluster again is very, very nice. You've got the rev counter on the left, and also the engine temperature gauge on the right. You've got the speedometer and also the fuel gauge, and then you also have some navigation here and time in the middle. This screen is super nice. It's big and easy to use. You've got dual climate control, heated seats. This is the automatic transmission. It's an 8-speed automatic transmission, and this also has an electronic parking brake. Very nice set of cup holders here, and you also have a nice storage compartment here as well as there. That's actually a pretty big storage compartment. But the car looks very good. There's actually a theme. It's sort of like a boxy, squarish type of a theme in the interior of the car. You look at the rear view mirror. It's got a sort of a rectangular look to it. There's some sharp edges on the dashboard here that flow throughout. Again, sort of sharp, rectangular lines, for the door handle. As well as here. So it's a great looking interior, no question about it. It's a very pleasant place to sit in, and in many ways it really feels like a premium vehicle. I mean, if you were to compare the interior of this car to the premium cars of just a few years ago, like the X3 or the Mercedes or the Audi Q5, I mean, you'd be hard pressed to notice the difference in the interior of those cars. It's also worth noting that with the R-Line, I don't know if you can see that, but you get these metal gas pedal and the brake, so it makes it look pretty sporty as well. And with the SEL and the lower trim models, the SE, the S, you actually get leatherette. And with the SEL Premium, you would actually get real leather. But this leather, it feels really nice, and you'd be hard pressed to notice a difference between it and just some regular leather seats. So that's it for the interior of the car. The interior is great, the exterior is great. It's a good looking car. It comes equipped with a lot of different features. Now probably for the most important part of the review as far as I'm concerned, let's take this car out for a test drive, and so that I can give you my impressions of its driving dynamics and driving characteristics. Thanks, guys. What's up, guys? This is going to be the driving review of the 2018 Volkswagen Tiguan SEL R-Line. I'm going to begin today's review by talking about a type of person that would appreciate a car like this. A person that would appreciate a car like this would be an individual who views a vehicle as a way to get from point A to point B. Okay. It is a comfortable car. It is a fashionable car in a sense that it's an SUV, and that seems to be what everybody's driving these ways. On top of that, it's a little bit of a unique car, right? Most of the SUVs that you see on the road are Asian SUVs. They're either Hyundais or Kias from Korea, or they're one of the 3 or 4, Japanese car manufacturer SUVs, your Toyotas, Hondas, Mazdas, Nissans, etc. This is a little bit unique in that it's a German vehicle, and in many sense it looks like a German vehicle, feels like a German vehicle, and in that sense it makes it a little bit more of a unique car on the road. The car looks great from the outside, as described, especially with this R-Line trim. It looks great on the inside. I mean, it really feels like a completely premium vehicle. It's got a lot of cool features. So if you're the type of person that likes to, plug his or her phone into the car and have all those apps accessible within the car, this is the perfect car for you. It's also a big car, right? I mean, it's, in comparison to its competitors, that was the whole point of this second generation of the Tiguan. Volkswagen wanted to make it bigger than the previous version and bigger than the competition, so that it could have the potential of having 3 seats. Or sorry, 3 rows of seats, which this one does. So in many ways, this car has all the ingredients that a non-car enthusiast would be looking for. A comfortable ride, an elevated ride, and a car that moves easily from point A to point B without creating too much fuss. And if that's the type of person that you are, if that's what you're looking for in your daily driver, in your daily commuter, then you're going to be extremely happy with this car. Now, if you are a type of person who really values driving dynamics of a car, who lives for driving a car that has perfect steering feel, that has a charismatic engine, that's fun to drive, that's engaging to drive, a type of person who pays attention as to how much body roll there's in the corners or when the car turns, that I'm afraid that this type of a vehicle would not make you happy, right? Probably this car, this is not a performance vehicle by any means. First of all, it's got a 4-liter turbo engine that only produces 184 horsepower, and 0 to 60s in the 8 or 9 second range, which is pretty slow in this day and age. This car comes standard with front-wheel drive, which is what this car has. So it's a front-wheel drive car. You can get an all-wheel drive car, but then that ends up resulting in an even slower car that takes over 9 seconds to get 0 to 60. It's got an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is kind of clunky, honestly. I mean, when you hit the gas, it takes, you know, a couple of seconds for it to react to determine what gear the car should be in. And the steering is pretty light. It doesn't offer a ton of feedback because it's so boosted, you know. It doesn't take a lot of effort at all to move the car, but it also doesn't give you any feedback. It's kind of hard to know what the front wheels of this car are doing when you're driving around. So, in terms of the driving characteristics, it's not going to be, that's kind of its shortcoming, I suppose. I mean, it looks great on the outside. It looks great on the inside. It has a ton of features. It can carry, you know, quite a bit of people, or I mean, it's bigger than its competition, or than the competition in the segments that it competes in. But it doesn't deliver very satisfying driver enjoyment. Again, it's a nice car. It'll do the job. It'll do the job well of getting you from point A to point B. I mean, you know, it's effortless. If you go over bumps here, you're not going to feel too many imperfections in the road. It does a very good job of dampening those out. And if you're on the interstate, you can, you know, it's fairly comfortable. It's a super comfortable car to be in. You can go drive 2, 3, 4, 5 hours without really breaking a sweat. The seats can be a little bit hard, but you know, nothing too bad. But it's not a car that once you're done driving it, you're not going to remember anything specific about its driving dynamics other than it just kind of being bland, for the lack of a better word. If I compare this car to the 2007 BMW X3 3.0 SI that I reviewed a couple months ago, the driving dynamics between those two cars are night and day. The X3 is, as I mentioned in that video, is much faster. It's much more stable in the corners. It has kind of this feeling of feeling like a compact car, even though it's an SUV. And you can't really say that about this car. So, not really trying to be negative, and I think that this car is going to be great for many people who are looking for a reliable daily driver. But I'm afraid that this car is not going to be a car that a driving enthusiast would want. All right, that's it, guys. Appreciate your watching this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and subscribe to my channel. There are going to be a lot more videos coming your way. Thanks, guys.